Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. Good morning, Jan from your nest at paradise. Good morning, Shauna. Good morning, Chris. Good to see you here today. Thank you guys so much for being here, as well as the folks who are currently watching on YouTube and also Twitch. Hello, hello. Wonderful to see y'all here today. We are here today to say some good stuff about us and to really mobilize the those very powerful word combination "I am" in order to tell our brains exactly who we are. The world is always trying to tell us who we are. Marketers of various different types are attempting to explain to us why we are deficient, so we will buy their product. And in the end, there's just so few. There's so few influences that actually encourage us to really look deeply into ourselves and recognize the truth of our inherent value and worth. So let's have some fun today. What we're going to do is I'm going to pull a card off the top of the deck and ask you if you are the affirmation on the card, and we are going to respond out loud together. I am that affirmation. As we do this, we are really embodying these truths and ultimately are changing the course of our lives. So let's have some fun. Let's pull a card and say that today I am resourceful. I am resourceful. My solutions are expedient and effective. So I am resourceful. My solutions are expedient and effective. Are you resourceful? You are resourceful. Your solutions are expedient and effective. I'm going to write that down in the comments, and I encourage you guys to do the same thing. Because as we write this down, as we turn this from a something you're hearing through your speakers into an idea in your head that you put through your fingers, it engages a completely different part of your brain. And so today we do declare that we are resourceful, and that our solutions are expedient and effective. All right, so I am resourceful today, and you are resourceful as well. I I was watching a very old Tony Robbins video from he did a what was called the Ultimate Business Mastermind. He did this, gosh, maybe 15 years ago, and and he was asking, the audience. He said, what is the greatest resource? And these are a bunch of business owners that he was talking to. That was his audience, bunch of business owners. He said, "What is your greatest resource?" And people talked about time. They talked about their people. They talked about the company assets. But then Tony shifted it around. He said, "Your greatest resource is resourcefulness, being able to draw from whatever it is that we have around us in order to accomplish whatever our aims may be at the time." And that really stuck with me because I realized that I've been in lots of different situations in life, and in every situation, it called for a different resource. And when I attempted to use the correct resource to solve my problem, then my problems got solved. However, when I attempted to use the incorrect resource, it didn't matter how much of that resource that I threw at the problem, it just wasn't being solved. And so I am resourceful. My solutions are expedient and effective, and you are resourceful as well. And so all of us are ultimately working with whatever it is that we have in front of us, and as we do, it's just it's a situation where we are just taking, and it's really a matter of creativity. So all of us have, for example, 24 hours in a day. Some people use that 24 hours more effectively than others. Some people use that 24 hours more intentionally than others. I was reading a medical article earlier on this morning because, well, I got a kid now and she wakes me up at 5 a.m. But I was reading a medical article about how our brains are go into an alpha state. So if you're not familiar, our brains have different types of brainwave patterns that they make just on a regular basis. And when somebody goes into a really deep meditative state, where our brains are very suggestible to whatever it is that we put in them, it's called an alpha state, and this is the state that people who go deeply into meditation, this is the state that they work on, or this is the state that they eventually end up in after typically hours or hours of meditation, and then after months or years of practice. However, our brains give us this state for free every morning when we wake up. We get it for about between medical science differs, but somewhere between about 5 and 21 minutes, depending on which study that you read. And so I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, part of my morning practice when I wake up, right as soon as I wake up, is that I intentionally choose to stay away from technology. I choose to stay away from external stimulus for the first 20 minutes or so, and that way I can really I can focus on what's right. I can center myself on what's right. I can make sure that I'm saying good things about me, and that I'm thinking good things, and I'm expecting my day to go well. And so I am resourceful. My solutions are expedient and effective. And I was thinking about how when if I were to attempt to use get into that alpha state at a time when my brain wasn't really prepared for it, then I would have to spend hours and hours and hours of meditation to do it. And of course, I've got 24 hours in a day, just like everybody else does. However, if I just use that resource that my body gives me for free the first thing in the morning, and make sure that I'm filling my brain with stuff that I believe to be true and that I desire to be true, and stuff that I know to be true first thing in the morning, then I save myself hours of effort. I don't have to go do all that deep meditation in order to get the same benefit. I remember that when I lived in Costa Rica, that I was living at the top of this mountain, and I was doing a construction project, and I remember that it was just everything was just such a pain in the butt to get up to the top of this mountain, and how I really just needed to have a truck. And I remember just when at the time I didn't have a vehicle. I was just walking. I was walking the 5 or 6 miles to town whenever I needed to go to town, if I decided to come off the mountain, which was not regular. And I remember just walking up the mountain and just thinking, this is a problem that money can solve. I have the money. Why am I not just buying a truck? And so that at that point, I walked back to town and I started to look for a truck, because it's like, this is really what I need. Why am I denying myself the thing that I need? There have been other situations in my life where I thought that I could throw money at a problem and make it go away because I had enough money to throw at the problem. But the problem wasn't one that could be solved with money. And so the more money that I threw at it, the problem still persisted, the more frustrated I got. In the same way that this knife on this card has multiple different tools, um, on it, and it work. Each tool works best for a certain specific task. So too do we have lots of tools at our disposal, and so let's make sure that we are using the ones that matter. We're using the tools that are the most effective for whatever it is that we are attempting to accomplish. And so let's make sure that the tools that we're using are the best tools for the job. Let's make sure if we're trying to open up a can, but we're using a screwdriver when we have a can opener, we're really only hurting ourselves. And so if we're trying to cut a rope, but we're doing it with a pair of pliers, then we're only hurting ourselves. We're only wasting our own energy. And so part of being resourceful is about understanding what resources that we have available to us and then correctly applying those resources. So when we say that our solutions are expedient, we mean that they come easily to hand. And when we say that they're effective, what we mean is that they actually work. And so that resourcefulness is something that can define our lives and allow us to be far more effective when all the people around us are saying, "Well, the situation's not perfect, so therefore I can't move forward." What we can say to ourselves are, "Okay, these are the tools that we have. What is the best possible tool for us to use in order to accomplish what we seek to accomplish?" So I'm resourceful today. You are resourceful as well, and our solutions are expedient and effective. I want to say thank you guys so much for coming here and being a part of the wake up call. Again, you guys really do make this a joy for me to get up in the morning and get done. So good morning again to Jan and Shauna, to Chris. Wonderful to see you guys all here today. Thanks so much for being around. I'll talk to everybody tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll come back with another one of these. And then tomorrow being Friday, we'll also go over the cards for the week and see where they took us this week. So, hey there, Anita. Wonderful to see you here on the call today. Thanks so much for being here. All right, guys. So I'll talk to y'all on tomorrow at 9 a.m. Until then, this is your daily reminder. I love you. I care about you. I believe in you. I believe that you have the resources to accomplish big, amazing things. And I will talk to you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Until then, aloha from paradise.